The 2023 rookies finally have an NFL home, and the MiLLiE Billies are back on the hunt for $1 million roster. Dan, I'm ready. Let's get to it, buddy.
District, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offer's the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be traded. And I always be traded. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.
What is up, Fantasyland? What a time to be alive, Dan. We get to draft for $1 million. Fantasy football, life-changing money, Tuesday night. What better thing, Dan, than to draft in the FFPC FantasyPros Championship tonight, brother? Tag teaming this thing. How you feeling?
I mean, if you're not drafting on a Tuesday night, what are you doing, man? This is living.
Great question. No, for real, buddy. This was your call. You sounded like you've got a little light schedule tonight. The lady might be busy, so we wanted to smash one of these. Look, the rookies finally have it at home, like I said in the intro. And for me, this is exciting time of year because everything changes, right? In Dynasty, the trades start, brewing up because things are different. You got different players on your roster. You've got rookies you've drafted or you're thinking of drafting. You got picks you want to move, and no different in redraft and best ball. Now these guys have homes. We're going to see tonight where they fall in this ADP. Dan, we have the 10 spot. Is this your first one of the player fantasy pros? I keep wanting to say that, yes. Football guys.
Yes, it is my first of the fantasy pros this year. So
nice.
And I do like drafting right after the NFL draft here because ADP hasn't really had a chance to settle in yet. So we get a chance to just, maybe grab some values that might not be there as we start moving into the summer.
100%, Dan. I've done the live drafts in the FFPC the last two nights whenever I can sneak into one that fills for that reason, just because I like reaching. It feels like you're reaching for the guys, but they just haven't moved up the ADP yet, and we're going to see that tonight.
Right. Yep, exactly.
So starting off pretty yellow, JJ in the one spot, CMC, Chase, and then Tyreek Hill. Pretty chalk so far, Dan.
Yes,
JT
definitely
goes off the board.
So
for those that are new to the channel, the MiLLiE Billies, Dan and I started doing this years ago now, and just anytime we're chasing, it started off as the quarter MiLLiE Billies, then it was the half MiLLiE Billies, and now we're the MiLLiE Billies, Dan. We're chasing that $1 million. So tonight we're doing a live version. When we do live drafts like this, we're going to be doing them throughout the off season up to September, and we'll be streaming them live. So tune in for those, and then whenever we talk strategies and these things, or get some big guests, some big players on, we'll do the MiLLiE Billies more kind of usual podcast format.
Yes. Yep, for sure. All right, we're 2 picks away from us. And we have 4 wide receivers off the board, 2 running backs off the board, and Kelsey at tight end.
I'm really curious to see. Just Dan and I had a little chit chat before we came on the air, and I'm curious to see who is available when we're on the clock. Right now we're on deck. We're just swinging the bats. We've got the weights on. Dan's checking his hair in the mirror before he walks out of the dugout.
Heck yeah. Yeah, we have
do it, Dan.
Okay,
do it. Smash it.
All right. So you want to do that one, or we could also do the person we have in number 2.
I definitely want to do the first guy we have.
I knew you did. All right.
We have to.
Smashed.
We have to smash Bijan when he falls to at the 10 spot. Dan, that the other guy though we're going to talk about, because I'm curious to pick your brain on this offense, on that offense as a whole. But let's talk about the rookie first. I mean, obviously we're right fresh off, him being called to Atlanta in the top 10. So definitely the rookie fever is high, but Dan, expectations are high from this guy as well, right? What, top 5?
Oh yeah. I think Bijan is definitely going to be a top 10 running back. Hopefully, probably top 5. We know Arthur Smith knows how to use a running back, so that's going to work out well for us. He catches a lot of passes, so we want to see him used heavily in the passing game as well. And so hopefully that becomes a big part of his game in the first year. Though that's the one place that gives me any sort of nervousness with Bijan, is sometimes running backs aren't asked to catch quite as many passes that first year.
Yeah, 19 receptions, 314 receiving yards, but he actually had 26 the year prior in lesser games, put up over 1,500 yards. What a beast. So yes. We'd like starting with him in a tournament like this.
Yep, without a doubt. All right, and we're almost on our pick again. I have 3 guys in the queue.
FFPC with some upgrades, software upgrades, which are nice. I noticed the boards stay up to date without having to refresh as often. Is that the same with you, or is that just on my end, Dan?
Yeah, they do refresh a lot faster, I think.
Yeah, okay.
At least that's what I've seen so far. Okay, so I think do you agree those 2 are the 2 best choices here?
Yeah, I prefer the first one.
Okay. So we're looking at A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. I mean, neither one of them coming back to us. So
to me, I feel a big factor that people are, I don't know if they're forgetting or I just, too busy to notice, but A.J. Brown, second year in this offense, Dan. Look at what happened the first year.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Let's not forget that.
Yes. Love an A.J. Brown here. So we're going to go ahead and smash that one.
Plus, he's on brand, Dan. On brand.
Yes.
You were the OG AJ Brown 101.
Yep, I've had to move over to Justin Jefferson 101, but we still have a soft spot in the heart for AJ Brown for sure.
Even that one, Dan. We called that what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And the year prior was, or 2 years before that, I remember was Kamara. Called that one a year before it happened. We're pretty good at calling those.
Yeah, definitely. I took, after his rookie year, I took Justin Jefferson 101 in my first FFPC draft, best ball. So that was fun.
I was in that draft, Dan.
Yep. That was a fun one. There were flags planted there for sure.
Yeah, there's usually flags planted in those early. Somebody was talking to me about like how many drafts they've done or whatever, or they're just getting into the drafts, and I'm like, oh, dude, I've been drafting since January.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
A little nuts.
Yeah, the one thing I'm gonna definitely have to watch is I've been in best ball mode so much, either best ball or dynasty.
Yes, both of us.
So getting back into the mode of I'm gonna have to actually make decisions on who to start. Which sometimes changes the calculus on some of these players.
Do you have any concerns, Dan? We were choosing between CeeDee Lamb and Bijan. I mean, obviously the excitement of having the rookie running back, the guy's a beast. He's going to be a beast. You got to think they're going to run the offense through him. Just McCarthy taking over that offense, the play calling, just really makes me nervous. I just remember those ugly Green Bay days where it's just you couldn't put your finger on it. It's kind of like a Belichick like light situation. Do you have any concerns with that? Do you think this offense takes a step forward? Where are you with the Dallas offense
My biggest concern is at least with CeeDee Lamb is going to be pace, because McCarthy took over and Brian Schottenheimer is now the offensive coordinator. And he runs a very slow-paced offense. So I'm sure the pace is going to slow down some. Lamb, in particular, I'm not too concerned about, even though I think Dallas is probably going to be running a lot more 12 personnel than they were last year. I think that's one of the big changes that they're going to go with, because I think they want to not telegraph when they're going to be passing. They're going to run out of heavier sets like that, because they've got 3 tight ends now that they can use. So that kind of telegraphs that they're planning to go that way. Then it's probably going to be CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks on the field as wide receivers for most of the time too. So I don't expect them to run a third wide receiver nearly as often as they did in previous years.
So
that also spells good things for Tony Pollard too.
Yeah, I was just going to add Pollard to that. Just wanted to add, guys, we're not necessarily reading off every pick. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, and you can also follow along on Spotify on the replay. You can actually watch us on Spotify. So check us out on YouTube, and you can follow along in the draft. Just going to discuss the players as opposed to kind of reading off names, which I don't think really helps anyone, even if they're listening along. What are your comments on AJ over Garrett? So just so Snowman knows, he knows us well, we were picking between those 2 exact guys, and I get the excitement with Rodgers, and I don't think there's a wrong answer, Dan, to be honest. I'm never a have to plant my flag. I'm more of a what are the percentages? To me, these guys both have equal chance of being in the top 12 as receivers this year, maybe even top 10.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I like A.J. Brown better still. I think Garrett Wilson definitely has all that upside, all that promise. I'm not down on Garrett Wilson at all. But, we'd like to see him do it one more time, and we'd like to see that Aaron Rodgers is,
yes,
that last year was more of a function of his wide receivers than a function of Aaron Rodgers being slightly washed or whatever. I mean, frankly, right now, I'll take the Philadelphia offense over the Jets offense. And so if I can have the number 1 receiver from either one, I'll take the number 1 receiver from the better offense. And A.J. Brown is huge in the red zone, too. Garrett Wilson's going to have some competition in the red zone.
Again, I think the fact that he's going second year with Hurts in that offense, these guys are hungry. They didn't win. Oh, that would have been nice coming to us. I was hoping Hurts maybe falls to us, but probably not going to happen. He's been going. These quarterbacks have been going early, so I was curious to see in best ball they've been going pretty early. So I was curious to see in these how early. So 3rd round, the first quarterback off the board, Jalen Hurts, right in the middle, smack in the middle.
Yeah, I think we might possibly get a Josh Allen pick coming soon here. But let's see. We need to look at what we want to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at here. I mean, my usual suspects in this range are this guy, the guy who just went, clearly. I don't know if you want to, how devoted you want to be to that offense. I'm just throwing names in there.
Yeah. I think the 3rd name we might be able to.
Yes.
Well, we could definitely get on our way back, but I kind of like the 1st name.
So he's usually my go-to in this area, and I think you and I have talked about him prior.
Yeah. I was thinking we might go wide receiver here, but I really like the fact that we've got this running back available, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
He's hard to pass, man. He's hard to pass where he's
really
going.
Is.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just got a big upgrade on the offensive line. Not only with the tackle, but they also took Darnell Washington, who is a tight end who's basically the same size as a tackle. So I think they're going to probably be able to run Najee a lot more effectively. And last year he had a little bit of an ankle injury too, so hopefully foot injury. So hopefully that's all healed up.
Yeah, we talked about Najee in our the owners lounge. Go check those out. High Stakes Dynasty, just talking about trades, managing our rosters, that sort of thing. And we made some moves for Najee in some higher stakes leagues, some 500s that Dan and I share. And like I said, I'm building rosters in best ball right now, and it's really hard to pass him up where he's going, especially third, like especially when he falls to the 4th round, Dan.
Yeah.
It's the value is just too juicy. You got to think that he's going to bounce back from last year, and even if you look at last year, it wasn't that awful, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna load a couple more players, or at least one more player into the queue.
All right, I'll go back to look at Najee's numbers there just to. So he did make it back to us.
Yes. Yeah. The only question is, do we want to go that running back?
Yeah,
early?
I'm just seeing
this early.
Yeah. Let me see what else.
But that does look like a pretty juicy.
It's hard to pass up with our build right now.
Right.
I think it would really be nice to build off of that for this type of tournament.
Okay. So you want to go Gibbs here?
I'm just like, do you have a receiver you love?
Nope.
Right now?
Nope.
That's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. So I'm taking Gibbs here. I love it, dude. I love it with so Bijan. So we're in the 10 spot again. Those are listening. Where Bijan is the start. Come back with AJ Brown, and then we smash Najee Harris and Jahmyr Gibbs coming back in the 4th round. So 3 running backs and 1 receiver. Dan, I love how before we came on, the one thing I remember you saying was, "Yeah, we can probably go receiver heavy in this one." Exactly. And we started off just green, buddy, green, like it's April 20th.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you can go into a draft with a plan, but we had a couple things that didn't quite fall the way I thought they might. So, why not take what we have available here? I was thinking Diggs would probably make it to us. I thought Bijan might go before Diggs, and then Harris was just kind of that was more of a crime of opportunity than anything.
Yeah. Alex Keaton was calling out for Gibbs, I think, prior to our pick, so he's liking that one.
Yep.
So far, so good. I mean, you got one team with JT, Breece Hall, and Stevenson. I'm not going to shy away from them, but that's probably our biggest competition when when you're comparing kind of who's got muscle at running back as much as we do. As long as these rookies live up to the hype, and the thing is, you never know where their ceiling is either, right? Which is nice in a tournament like this.
Yeah, I still have a little bit of trouble taking Breece Hall this high until we know more about how he's coming back from that injury. I think he's probably going to come back pretty good. I think he might be slow the first month or so of the season.
Do you prefer guys like that in best ball or in a situation like this, Dan, where you can decide when they're in your lineup or not? Sorry.
No, I mean I basically with Breece Hall, I just prefer not to take him that early at all. Because I can always add some Breece Hall later. I don't need to, I can catch up on my exposure to him.
Surprised to see Walker still in that same range. Like he has, from what I could hear out there in Twitter land, there was too much hate, in my opinion, for Walker after Charbs going over there in the draft, but still going in the mid to back end of the 2nd round.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is I'm afraid, Walker never got a ton of receiving work as it was, and he's going to get even less now.
Yeah. You're already hearing goal line work and receiving work for Charbs.
Yeah, because Charbs is definitely was the better receiver in college, and then they added JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's going to be way better.
Say that 10 times, Dan.
Yeah, right. That's going to make it a lot easier for them to throw the ball other places. So Kenneth Walker, I think, might turn into a little bit more of a 2-down banger, which I'm not going to take a 2-down banger in the 2nd round unless it's on an offense that's playing very fast, and I think they're just going to score a ton of touchdowns.
Which you could see why guys like Tony Pollard are climbing up past the Breece Halls, the Walkers, the Jacobs.
Yep.
With no threat, really, going to Dallas. So we're at the end of the 4th round. We've got 6 tight ends off the board, 5 quarterbacks, 17 running backs with my boy J.K. Dobbins going off the last pick, and then 19 receivers. There was a question, shout out to the chat. You guys are
Yeah.
Champ tonight. Oh, Famous J had a question. Yes. Rank Bijan, JT, and Barkley. Dan.
Right now, before the draft, I had it JT, Bijan, Barkley. I now have it Bijan, JT, Barkley, because with AR-15 coming into Indianapolis, when you've got the running quarterbacks, they tend not to throw the running backs nearly as much. So I think it's going to make it a little bit, like JT is going to have to score a ton of touchdowns. I think Anthony Richardson's also going to take some touchdowns away from him. So it just makes the path a little bit more difficult for JT at this point, I think. Whereas Bijan, we're not worried about Ritter or Taylor Heineke if it comes to that. Really stealing a lot of his rushing touchdowns, or and they'll probably be pretty likely to be dumping it off to him. He will be used heavily. He can be used heavily as a receiver too. Barkley, I like him, but they added a lot of weapons there. I think they wanted to become a little bit less reliant on Barkley than what they were last year.
He's on franchise tag, Dan, right?
Yeah, now? He's on the franchise tag. Hasn't signed it yet. I'm sure he will. But
yeah.
But
it's the whole commitment thing, like you said, adding the weapons.
Right.
Barkley, I think, is falling out. For me, I still have JT there. I just think that one thing I was going to ask you, do you know who Lamar's running back was when he came in as a rookie, or even his second season? I was trying to look that up, and I kind of I had someone in mind, and it wasn't, and then I kind of just Ray Rice was before that time.
Yes, Ray Rice was before then.
Who's a little guy that was like undrafted or whatever, and he was for 2 years? Forsett or four? Is it Forsett?
Oh yeah. That was, I think, before.
That was before.
Well.
Man, I'm too old.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
Too many years playing fantasy. Anyways, my point is, I do still think that next year the offense has to go through JT, in my opinion. I just, for me, I'm flip-flopping between Bijan and JT. I don't fault anyone who's taking one over the other, but Barkley is definitely the third guy in that group.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, I'm hyped about my Colts, Dan. The fact that they got rich, I was thinking about this. Like, I wasn't really big, tooting my horn for AR coming into the draft. It's kind of like that girl in school that, your buddy's asking you like how pretty you think she is, and she's like a 10, and you're like, she'll never like me, so why would I say? It's kind of like one of those, right? You don't think your team's ever going to draft a guy like Anthony, Richardson. Yep. And of course the Colts do it. And I mean, I couldn't be more ecstatic, man. It's to watch this happen with the coaching staff that they brought in, the weapons they have there already. Ballard, someone was saying like, I was kind of bitter at Ballard for a bit there just because of the QB carousel, but it's nice to have this upside project now in Indy.
All right. We are one pick away.
Let's do it.
I threw some guys in the queue. The last two guys, I think we could definitely wait till around the corner.
On the way back.
Yeah. So it becomes a question of, do we want to nail down a tight end now, or do we want to go with wide receiver?
So I know you were like, I know the tight end here is a spot you were really excited to get.
Yeah, but with our build,
yeah.
Okay, so who do you like at wide receiver that's available?
Like the two you've got there, pretty even for me. I've got them in that order exactly.
We can also throw Drake London in there.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Do that.
Okay.
Do that. Let's get some stacks going here.
Do you want to take Drake here?
Yes. Are you waiting for me to take it? No.
Okay,
I got it. Good. Sorry, I started looking on another page and then. All right. So far we've got Bijan Robinson, AJ Brown, Najee Harris, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Drake London for the start of a ATL stack there.
Yes. Yeah, and the Harry Snowman came up with it. Alex Collins, that's who I was trying to think of, and also Mark Ingram.
Oh, that's right, Alex Collins. That's right,
Yep.
and Mark Ingram. Yep. Forgot about Alex Collins. Great call, Snowman.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you're not already playing on the FFPC, go use the code GOAT right now. Sign up, myffpc.com. You'll get an initial deposit bonus that you can use towards any draft right now. They've got Dynasty, ReDraft, Best Ball, you name it. It's happening right now at the FFPC. And we're doing a $350 buy-in tonight. FantasyPros Championship, $1 million grand prize. And we are just approaching our pick in the 6th round after picking 3 running backs and 2 receivers, Dan.
Yep. And I think we're definitely going to want to go quarterback here, because I see a kind of a tier drop off after these guys, and we've got a long wait too. So I like either Herbert or Lawrence here. Thoughts on that?
Just looking at where I have these guys. Yeah, I have Herbert. I'd take Herbert over Lawrence at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I like the fact that Kellen Moore went there to be the offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to be throwing a lot. I mean, Lawrence is a very good pick too, but we'll go with Herbert.
Any thoughts on us trying to get the Mike Williams Herbert stack there, or do you have concerns with the often injured?
I don't think he's going to last.
Yeah.
I just don't think he'll make it back to us. I think if we wanted that stack.
Oh no, I just meant like if we took him prior.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, the nice thing is with managed leagues, if Mike Williams is out, then you start somebody else. But hopefully London can give us just as good a performance as Mike Williams. Though the Atlanta offense is fairly slow paced, but I think I think London's a good pick there. I'd rather go with the younger guy this early in the draft, and if I'm going to take older wide receivers, take them a little bit later.
Valid, all valid. We definitely have the young rookie running back core and Najee for a third bounce back season. Yep. So Swift goes off the board now, end of the 6th here, Dan, or middle of the 6th. I just made a trade, as you know, moving Swift and Pickens and a 305 for 104 and J.K. Dobbins. So Swift, him going to Philly has really brewed up the market. Dynasty-wise, where do you sit on him? Redraft, best ball, especially a tournament like this. Do you think that his ADP is there yet, or do you think he's going to keep climbing slowly as people get more hyped up about him in a better offense and maybe in a new situation where he might get the opportunity?
Yeah, I think right now he's probably going in about the right spot. I do think Philly's going to use him, but I also think there's going to be. He has to contend with Jalen Hurts, which he didn't have to contend with before. And Rashad Penny, for however many weeks he's healthy, is also going to be a significant stumbling block for him. So, I think Swift is probably going to do something pretty similar to what he's done in Detroit, which is going to put him as kind of a little bit more of a mid RB2, something like that. And I think there are still some players that probably have more upside than him available. Like I would have probably taken Dameon Pierce before him. Akers did go before him, and I like that a lot. And then there might be another running back or two that also has lots of good upside.
Yeah, so Swift has been RB15, RB8, RB15 the last 3 years, fantasy points per game. Shout out to MP60 DCL foil. I gotta get his name. Shout out to him in Germany, man. He tunes in pretty often. We appreciate the support and we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in tonight. If you like any of this, guys, smash the like. We're gonna keep bringing this. This is the first one of the season, our first $1 million draft, $1 million roster, and we are just starting the 7th. There goes Waller, Dan.
Yep. I was surprised at how long he lasted.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, we were considering him the last 2 picks, and he goes at the end of the 6th round there.
Yep, but that's all right.
Tight end 8.
That's a nice value for team 1 for sure.
Who already had TJ Hawkinson that he took in the 2nd round.
Yes.
Harry Snowman's calling the stacks.
Yep.
Number 2 looking like he's got the JSN, the Metcalf. Very possible.
So he could take Lockett here if he wanted to, or did Lockett already go?
No, Lockett not gone yet. He goes Ingram instead.
Yep. Yeah, but I think he's got a decent draft going there at the number 2 spot. All right, I'm going to throw a couple guys in the queue here.
Yeah, I'm just starting to go through now. This is where, it's you've got your favorites. Some of them look ugly. Some of them look like value. Yeah. I think all those are pretty much good value in this range.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, I put this guy number 8 in. I don't know if you did too, but don't hate that.
Yeah, I think that might be one we can
Coming back.
push around the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
think
I know
there's a
some
decent
people
chance of
are picking. Christopher Davis asking Dan, Pickens or Deontay for you more often? I think you and I were going on and on about Deontay prior to pressing the red button.
Yeah, I want some of both. I've been taking a little bit of both in best balls, so I haven't done really any managed leagues. This is the first managed league that we've drafted, so but I would probably take Deontay a little bit more in a managed league like this, because I do think he's he had terrible touchdown luck last year. He didn't score a single touchdown. What are the odds of that?
But he got targeted big time.
Yes, he did.
And that's that's what I was telling you. He's one of those guys right now where I check my ownership percentages because I don't want to go too crazy, but in pretty much any draft I find Deontay is such good value right now.
Yeah, Joe Mixon went at running back 25. I think that's a huge value.
Yeah.
So I like the value he got. So I think we can look at probably a wide receiver here for sure. Who do you like? Because we know who we want to take coming back around.
Yeah.
So who else do you want to take? So we'll take the.
I'm probably leaning the first guy, but I mean they both have. The first guy is just more proven, more consistent. They both have not the greatest situations. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like the first guy at this point in our roster, especially to complement the first guy with our next if we get it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit draft on Mike Evans.
Wheeler in the house. What's up, Kev? All right. So we take Mike Evans here as our receiver 3 in the 7th round. He's the receiver 38 off the board, Dan. Let me go get my Mike Evans facts here. And I mean, this man is as consistent as it gets.
All you have to say is wide receiver 38, and I'm on board.
Right? You know what I mean? So he's been, listen to this, Dan. The worst he's been in his entire career was his second year. He was wide receiver 25. We're always looking at fantasy points per game. Starting last year, going back, he was 13th, 10th, 16th, 5th, 10th, 19th, 3rd, 25th, and 14th. So that's not value. I don't know what is.
Yep. Yeah, that definitely feels real good. We got a nice starting lineup put together. Got our flexes filled with Gibbs and Evans, so it's not bad at all.
So guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow night on the Player Profiler Network. We are rocking our weekly show. We started last week. We had a big show last week. Tomorrow night, another big one coming. Talking about the rookies, where they landed, who we like, who we don't like, all that goodness.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be talking about more in relation to redraft, though. We'll definitely be talking a little dynasty value as well, but for sure, who we're liking for redraft. You know, which players should be moving up and down.
One more pick.
Yep.
And oh no, I thought it was taken there.
All right, come on.
There it is.
There we go.
All right.
Nice. All right. And
so we just took Quentin Johnson for the stack with Justin Herbert. You love, Dan, for me, like we've got the 2 rookie running backs at the front, the top 2 taken, and then just having this like wild card receiver as your wide receiver 4 that you're stacked with with Herbert, quarterback that we took in the 6th round.
Yep.
I mean, tournaments like this, I love builds like that.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then we were talking about there was going to be a pretty big teardrop on quarterbacks after Trevor Lawrence went off the board, and that's exactly
I haven't
what we've
seen one taken. Yep.
Yeah, we're close to 2 rounds since a quarterback's been taken, and I expect we'll probably get to at least 2 rounds. If neither team 7 or 8 take a quarterback here, we'll probably make it well into the 9th round before another one goes.
Yeah, 8 just took Davis. Team next to us, interesting build. Diggs, Wilson, Higgins, Cooper, and Godwin pissed yellow, and then went green. Akers, JC, and then Madison.
Yeah,
Curious to see how that ends up.
And I was thinking that might be what our build might look like. But the fact that Team 9 went that way kind of pushed us a different way, which is fine. I mean, you know, that's what you want to do is take advantage of the value. You
gotta be flexible. Wheeler, stop bragging. Our stack is better. All right, just don't even bother. You got to be, you know, when we talked about that coming in, we're co-owning, we're co-drafting. So you want to have that discussion coming in, you know, what are your thoughts? What are this and that? But like we said, you know, at the end of the day, the draft will kind of make the decision for you in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, especially in the back end of that first round. I find that's one of the benefits of being there is, in a way, it narrows down who you're going to start with.
Yep, for sure.
I find interesting that Herbert's value has not really gone up. I don't find in ADP, if anything, but I don't know. Like, look, I was high on Roshan. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But without the draft capital, do you still worry that he's taken over that job, or do you think Herbert can still?
Oh, I've definitely got some concerns on Herbert at this point, you know, because he's only got 6th-round draft capital. So, and they took Roshan in the 4th. You know, in the 4th round to 6th round, that's not a huge difference, but still, you've just got to worry a little bit that there's not going to be enough for all of them to eat. I mean, they could all rub each other out, basically.
Joe Carlton in the house, giving his thoughts. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, tonight on this fine Tuesday evening. Check out the FFPC, myffpc.com. They got live drafts happening on the regular. We are doing a 350 buy-in Fantasy Pros Championship for $1 million. And we are just about to start the 9th inning, the 9th round in a 20-round draft. So far on the GOAT district, sorry, Dan, the MiLLiE Billies roster. Bijan, AJ Brown, Najee Harris, Jahmyr Gibbs, Drake London, Justin Herbert, Mike Evans, and rookie Quentin Johnson for the Charger stack.
I'm just loading up our queue with a few
So
players here.
question for you, Dan, that maybe the audience might be interested in hearing about. Ooh, the Leafs tied it up. Shout out to all the Leaf fans out there. They finally made it to the second round, Dan. It's only been 19 years. But any thoughts on, I mean, we're degenerate. We're going to have multiple teams in these things. We're going to do a bunch online streaming. If someone's doing a couple entries, maybe 3, because they have the deal on right now on myffpc.com. When you pick up 3 teams, you get a special bonus. Do you have advice for, like, if someone's doing volume versus 1 to 3 teams on how to build, or is your approach different at all, or are you still kind of, approaching your drafts the same?
Well, I think if you're doing volume, you definitely want to be able to mix up what you're doing a little bit more. I mean, if you're doing a couple 3 drafts, you go get your guys as much as you can from whatever position you're in. And the other thing is hopefully, with 3 drafts, hopefully you end up at 3 different areas of the board, so you'll get some natural variation that way. If you're doing a lot of drafts, then that's where you can get a little bit more creative. I'm not going to be doing a ton of the FantasyPros ones. I'm gonna do more of the main events rather than FantasyPros, just because I like how the payout structure works on that a little bit better. I mean, it's definitely more expensive, but I still like the payout structure and how that works. So love those mains. Those are a lot of fun. But these are
that's
nice ways.
That's a $1,900 buy-in, Dan.
Yeah, $1,600 if you get the early bird. So yeah,
okay.
you can definitely cut that back a little bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty big savings, actually. We'll be in Vegas drafting one of those. Our foes, was it Pros versus Joes that we won?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we've got that one, and then we'll probably draft at least one more.
Harry Snowman thinks Theo's in this draft, with Kincaid and Chig going off the board back to back there in the 3 spot. What are your thoughts on Kincaid for year 1? Oh, we're coming up. You know what?
We are coming up.
Hold that thought, Dan. Hold that thought.
All right. So the last 3 players that I have, we don't need to take those on this pair of picks at all. That's going to be for like the next round. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Charbonnet just went off. That would have been a great pick for us, I think.
Yes.
There.
Oh, there's a guy I just threw in. Number 6 is a guy I really like here.
All right, let me refresh.
He's a guy I think is going at a good price right now.
Yeah, I like that. I think that probably makes as much sense as anyone. Otherwise, Michael Thomas is another one I'd consider here. Don't love drafting him, but on the other hand, I mean, if he's back, he could be great. Let's do number 6 though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, Gibson is a guy I find, again, similar to Deontay Johnson. Like I just always find that he's at a good value. And if I'm looking and I don't see a name I like, and I scroll down a bit and I see Gibson, I don't feel like I'm reaching. Like I feel like I'm getting him at the right price.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And we've talked about it on the show, Dan, channel a million times now. Bieniemy going over there to Washington. You got to think Gibson is going to be a big part of that offense. He's receiver at one point, turned running back, so he's got that versatility. There goes Roshan, A-Chain and Roshan. I like that double tap.
Yeah, A-Chain was a nice pick there. I like that. That was somebody I was also thinking about.
And that's the thing this time of year, and I just threw another name in there that I really like, is, like you said, Dan, the fun of doing these quickly after the draft is a lot of these ADPs haven't settled. Similar to when we do the drafts, the best balls in January, February, ADPs haven't settled yet. So it's kind of the best time to pounce on opportunity.
Yeah, I like what you're thinking there.
With that last one I added?
Yeah.
I really like, I feel like it kind of locks up that position.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think we'll need to touch it anymore.
Do it. The guy I talked about last week, Kendra Miller, he's, to me, little.
Yeah, he's fallen into a really nice spot here.
Oh yeah, I love that. And the Capital. Which round did he go, Dan? Third.
Yes.
Yeah, to New Orleans. I mean, they're always solid defensively, solid running game. With Derek Carr, they're managing the offense. You got to think he'll have the opportunity there for sure.
Absolutely.
So we lock up kind of the running back position, Dan, with Bijan in the first, Najee Harris in the third, Jahmyr Gibbs in the fourth, Gibson, and then Kendra Miller. It's a nice running back room, Dan.
Yeah, it really is. And if he makes it back around, I'm going to pound the table for our number one.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah. And we'll talk about him wherever he gets drafted, but hopefully it won't be until we draft.
Yeah, there's a few guys at that position that are still hanging around there. I'll be curious to see if any of those make it back to us.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a pretty good chance that that number one guy is going to make it to us, because there's still some options coming up that others might like better. But I know I'm going to like the price on this. It'll be interesting to see with Baltimore, because we just saw Odell Beckham go. Mm-hmm. So Beckham is going in front of Bateman. Flowers, I think, so Flowers and Bateman have both, or Flowers and Beckham have both gone, and Bateman's still on the board. So that gives you an idea of where a lot of people are leaning. Personally, I think, there's not going to be a ton of work unless something happens to Beckham. I think Flowers might be starting off a little bit slow. I think Bateman's probably going to be the better.
It's not a type of offense where Flowers going to come in and just get peppered with targets every game. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not that type of offense. So it's going to take a little longer. Yep. So I do think Bateman is going at a sneaky price, especially going after Odell. That surprised me. Since Odell got signed, I noticed that in a lot of even the best balls.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do notice, Dan, in this range right now, like we're in the 10th going into the 11th. And that's why I like what we did with the running back position is there's a lot of nice receivers in this range right now when I'm looking in the queue.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So Bateman goes off the board there. I think he could be great value in the 11th round. Even the other guy, actually, Jacoby Myers, the guy that I added in our queue, I think he's sneaky. He's one of those guys where he'll be consistent. He's going to get those targets every week. You saw him in New England last year pretty consistently, like a receiver 2, in your lineup. They just signed him. So you got to think that in Vegas he's going to get peppered.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, yeah. And then in Team 2 did stack up Bateman with Lamar Jackson too, so that worked out nicely for him.
Yeah.
Okay, Dulcich goes off the board. What do you think of Dulcich? I mean, he's been he's been falling a lot.
He's been falling. Like last night I did a live and I kind of let him fall a bit too far. I should have grabbed him, and then he went a bit after, and I was like, because he is going later. And to me, it's one of those where like when everybody was going Dulcich, I was kind of avoiding him, and now that he's falling, I feel like he still has the same opportunity as he did before. We still don't know with Sean Payton going there which guy's going to take it. I wish I had asked him on the beach in Cabo when I ran into him. That's the one regret, Dan. I didn't just as he's walking away, just give him the, hey, Sean. Alberto or Dulcich, like just one of those just to get the quote. But your
Yep.
boys, actually,
Yeah.
hold on. We got to talk this out here. Are you still thinking your boy?
Yeah. I like him better than the number 4 selection. I really do, because I think he's on a better offense. I think he's got a better quarterback. And he's got no competition.
I kind of like that guy that's sitting there.
At number 4?
Oh man, I went in the wrong room. Yes. I just think he's going to get peppered. I'm just using that word a lot, but I don't know. I'm going to let you pick because this is your position, and I've picked a lot of guys in the last couple, so let you pick then.
Let's take Juwan here. I got a real good feeling about Juwan.
Okay.
And then if your guy comes back around,
I would love that.
then there we go.
Yeah, it's hard when we get in these kind of debate discussions because it's like I want to say, but you gotta wait.
Right.
So we apologize for the code talk, the 007 talk that we got going. Guys, smash the like, smash the subscribe. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. The chat, as usual, all you guys, Wheeler, Snowman, Joe, appreciate you guys hanging with us tonight.
Yep. Harry Snowman was asking Beckham have an MCL. No, it was an ACL, and it was at the very end of it was the Super Bowl of the 2021 season.
That's
is when
right.
it happened. So he didn't play at all last year. All right, we're gonna have to scroll down here momentarily. All right, the anticipation is killing me now. Can we get our guy? Can we sneak him through?
I know, right?
We might have been able to sneak him through the other way, but I don't know. I was worried a little bit that Juwan might not be there, and I do feel very, very strongly about him.
Well, look, these tournaments are the type of tournaments that it's all right to not go chalk and get your guy.
Yep.
Especially in these rounds, double-digit rounds. It's a position that's pretty flat.
All right, we just got to make it through.
Anthony Richardson goes off the board here in the 12th round.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick there. Especially when you got Mahomes.
I was just going to say, especially when you pair it up with Mahomes, I like that a lot.
I mean, personally, I would just wait and either not take another quarterback if I got Mahomes, but if I'm going to take one, it's going to be a guy like that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys left on the board that he took him over though for redraft. As much as I love me some AR. All right, we're in, and he's there, Dan.
He's there. Do it.
Smash it. All right.
This one's yours, JD.
All right, so our discussion was we waited till this is tight end premiums, guys. Remember, tight end premium FFPC, and 11th round we didn't have a tight end yet. Dan is super high on Juwan Johnson out there in New Orleans. We already picked up Kendre Miller. I wanted to grab him to finish off our RB position. Love him as a rookie. Love him in New Orleans. So a bit of a Saints stack going on there. And then I really like Schultz. I just think we've seen the rookie quarterback come in and just gravitate towards the dependable, veteran type tight end. And I totally see them bringing in Schultz for that reason in Houston. So I like the two tight ends. I mean, we didn't spend a lot at the position, but in these type of tournaments with tight end premium, FFPC, if you hit on one of these tight ends, Dan, that can really make your team.
Yep, that's exactly it. And, I like how we didn't spend very much. And, if we don't get those early guys, I'm not going to sit around and, try to
chase
and, take an Evan Ingram or whatever, because who knows, Evan Ingram could, they've added Ridley there. So that could take a lot of market share away from Ingram. So I like where we're sitting at tight end. Tap those two late. We'll probably grab another one somewhere along the way. And, we got 3 decent options that we didn't spend a lot for. And I feel definitely between Juwan and Dalton Schultz that we'll be able to cobble together pretty good starters every week.
Yeah, you're not looking for these guys to be tight end one for you in every week like a Kelsey. You're looking to get your points everywhere else. Your week winning points everywhere else. Every once in a week you'll get a nice blitz week off of these guys. Maybe they get a double touchdown week, but you're not depending on them, Dan. They're more kind of keeping the floor of your roster while your other big weapons hopefully produce for you on a weekly basis.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
And I mean, I say that, but as I'm saying it, we got to remember new quarterback in New Orleans. He could easily gravitate to JJ at tight end. I know he's friends with Hill, but Hill's just annoying. Taysom Hill.
Yeah. I mean, Taysom is, he is what he is, but Juwan he's a converted wide receiver. So I like him a lot.
Yeah, especially in an offense that not too many weapons, let's face it.
Right.
So end of the 12th, Dan, starting the 3rd, we've got our quarterback in Herbert. We've got our 2 tight ends we just talked about. We smashed our 5 running backs, and we've got 4 receivers in A.J. Brown, Drake London, Mike Evans, and Quentin Johnson. So nothing too crazy. As you look at the board, Dan, anything like stand out? Is there anyone kind of going really off chalk or too chalk or?
No, I don't think.
Trying to see. Yeah, it looks pretty standard.
Yeah.
So far.
Yep. Team 2 is doing a nice job. They're picking up Irv Smith. I like that pick a lot there. He was somebody who I had in our queue that I thought we might think about for that 3rd tight end if he made it back to us.
Man, I'd love to see him do something in Cincinnati. He's a guy I know you and I are both invested in Minnesota, and just injuries and whatever else never happened.
Yep. Yeah, but he's got a really nice opportunity in front of him in Cincinnati for sure. So he came out probably about as good as he possibly could on that.
Every guy I go to talk to you about is still in the queue, so I got to look at the board instead of the queue. So we've got 17 quarterbacks off the board. Aaron Rodgers, I feel, is even, considering like Anthony Richardson goes off right before him. I think that's pretty good value in Rodgers as QB 17 in the 13th round. I think you can do worse than that. Singletary, newly positioned in Houston as the RB52. Zay Jones, receiver 60. And Irv, we just talked about as tight end 18.
Yes.
Scroll your board up a bit, Dan.
Yep.
There it is. Again, guys, tune in tomorrow night, Player Profiler channel. You'll find the GOAT District. Big show tomorrow talking about rookies and their landing spots. Right now we're doing a FantasyPros FFPC $350 buy-in, $1 million grand prize redraft tournament. This is not best ball. We will have to fill starting lineups. We'll have to do waivers. It's a managed league championship for $350 buy-in. But what is it, Dan? If you get 3 right now, I'm going to go look that up. I always forget what the deal is. If you get 3 right now and you get the early bird promo, you sign up prior to June 1st, you'll get a $35 league credit. And there's a lot you can do on this site for $35, Dan. They got the $35 Superflex tournament for $50,000 right now.
Yep.
They've got the $35 regular best balls, 28 deep. They've got slims, 20 deep. Superflex, 1 QB, you name it, they got it. Dynasty, redraft. Go check it out, myffpc.com. And if you're not already on there, use the code GOAT, use the link below, and we'll hook you up with a deposit bonus. Dan, scroll it up a bit for the peeps.
Yep. All right. So We're going to have a couple interesting choices here, I think.
$19.12 in the house. $19.12. You still on the clock in OG or what? He's been on the clock all day.
Yeah. All right. So I don't normally take another quarterback in these things, but there is a quarterback in our queue that's a very nice value here.
Okay. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta.
But we could also do a tight end. If we do that quarterback, we should be able to push him around the corner no matter what. So we should take somebody other than a quarterback here. I don't mind number 2 in our queue.
Well, if you're going to do that, you might as well hit 2 and then try to hit him on the way back.
Yeah. So,
man, I have so much of that team. The value is just.
Well, I like Rondale Moore because I think he's he's going to be very involved in the offense. Even if DeAndre Hopkins sticks around, I think Moore anytime he's playing, he's a good floor play for our team at wide receiver. Somebody you can always throw in there in the flex and get about 10 points out of at least.
I mean, you're looking at these younger second, third year guys that maybe haven't popped yet in this range. The older guys, the rookies, guys that you don't think will get past a wide receiver 3 on their team, past the the 5th target on their team. That's kind of what you're looking at in this range. There's some gems here and there, but coming off of injury, again, like I say, I've got a lot of this. Yes, 1912. This is a 350 league.
Yep, and yeah, getting more at wide receiver 63 is great. Wan'Dale Robinson, is basically the identical player, except Wan'Dale is hurt and probably won't be playing until the middle of the season.
Dan, I just added a name.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you just don't like it or missed it.
Well, let's see who it is.
Just because we don't have the other 2.
Right. I don't love it. But if you want it,
Oh no, I'm not, Dan, I'm not on my desk pounding my chest or anything right now. I'm not, I love that guy who just went off the board.
Rasheed Rice. We had him on ours too.
Yeah. Rasheed Rice and Jaden Reed were 2 receivers. Just the first time I started looking at the rookie class, it just kind of popped off. So,
and as I'm thinking about our number 1, I mean, that's going to be somebody we're holding for a while, but probably worth it. Do you want to take?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You know what, Dan? That might not be a good move.
Okay.
We might be able to pick that up later. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. Do you want to go tight end or do you want to go receiver then?
What's going on with 6?
He'll probably last till the next round.
Do you want to go 3 or 4?
Yeah.
3 or 4? 3 or 4. I don't care which one.
Let's go 3.
Okay. I
think we'll come back and pick up 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we take Jaden Reed. It's just him and Rice are just, kind of like, they're not the fastest guys. They're not the most athletic guys necessarily, but just guys that go up and get the ball, those contested balls and good landing spots. Reed in Green Bay, right? I believe it was
yes.
Green Bay.
Yep. In Green Bay. And, with Lazard out of town and Dubes didn't really fire at all. So you got to think Reed's got a nice opening, and he looked great in the Senior Bowl. And he, the Packers took him in the second round at pick 50, I think it was. So,
yeah,
that's a nice pick. Shows a lot of faith by the Packers. So,
yeah,
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think the Packers did all right, man. I think Jordan Love's going to be sneaky this year.
The Packers definitely gave Aaron Rodgers the big FU on the way out of town.
Which we knew was going to happen, Dan.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You knew that was going to happen. You know?
Yep. Yeah, so they draft 3 receivers in rounds 2 and 3. They got Jaden Reed and then 2 tight ends. So gotta love that. And speaking of, I added another player to the queue in the 5 hole.
All right, buddy. So we're at the end of the 14th round, guys. 20-round draft. Defenses start going off the board.
Yep, 1912 correctly points out Vikings fans talking nice words about Green Bay.
Hilarious. So
had
true.
to make up for my appearance on the Best Bell podcast.
Yeah, guys,
Bradley.
go check that out. Dan, why don't you tell people where they can find that?
Yeah, so if you follow Bradley Staldler on Twitter, I was on his podcast last Monday. We were talking about a lot of pre-draft stuff, most of which, I think still ended up being pretty relevant. We were looking at players that we thought whose value might really either go up or down a lot based on the draft, and so a lot of those ended up happening. So definitely worth checking out. And you can find it also under the Best Bell feed, I believe. So
1912, hilarious.
yes.
Scroll the board up a bit, Dan, just because we're getting into that 15th round now. You've got 3 defenses. Our boy Justin Tucker off the board. Dan, we were not the first team to take kicker, which is surprising because you and I doing these redraft teams or teams where there's kickers, we're usually one of the first ones anyways to take one.
Yep. Yeah, though hopefully there's a couple more targets I'm interested in.
I think Sunday Delivery was just sniping the 2 spot there with the Baltimore stack.
Could be.
Are you with me in the sense that I usually attack kicker before defenses, just because defenses are seem to be more luck factor?
Yeah, I mean, at this time of year, I can kind of go either way.
Okay.
Like I've found some of the kickers that were really good last year are a little bit less interesting to me this year, whereas there's at least one defense that I really like.
Okay. Oh, here's another guy I just threw in there. Somebody mentioned this guy in the chat. Oh, you can take a look at it.
Yeah, and Alex Keaton's right. The 49ers kicker late. That's not a bad move at all.
Yeah, what's going on with the rookie, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Wheeler, dome or warm weather.
Yep.
So I added some tight ends, some receivers, a receiver and a running back there.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised that Everett went right after we took Jaden Reed. I thought that Everett would probably make it back around to us.
I was going to ask you, Everett and Higbee are 2 guys that I find interesting right now. Like neither has a home, right?
Well, Everett is still with the Chargers.
He is. Okay.
Yeah. And Higbee is still with the Rams, as far as I know.
Maybe we should have taken Everett coming back there.
I mean, we could have, but I really thought he was going to last until our next pick here.
He's been falling. That's why I wasn't sure if he was even like, I know he's on the roster. I just didn't know if he was going to start the season there. But
all right, if it comes to us, I really like the number 1 player we have on our
100%.
I think that's a
yeah.
great
Out of
there.
anyone, there is the only one that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I feel like that's happening because I don't even see him in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be good on that one.
Pretty good.
Just let's see what's Joe Carlton saying. He traded Ridley, Shark, Warren for Juju in the 202. Yeah, smash that first one.
Okay. And now, before we hit that, that'll be a good thing to hit once it gets past our second pick.
Yes,
here.
yes.
But let's figure out what we want to do with this pick. I'm thinking.
So we've got 2, 4, 5 running backs, 7 receivers, 2 tight ends.
Yeah. So I feel pretty good at wide receiver, and I feel pretty good at running back. I mean, we can definitely add to the pile, but I feel fine with both of those right now. I feel like we definitely need to look at another tight end somewhere along the line.
I've got 2 in there.
Yep.
I don't know if you like either of them.
I do. I like them both. I think probably the best.
Even this guy, I threw another one in there.
Okay.
I actually really like these guys in this range, to be honest. Like I really like them even more than guys in tiers maybe a couple above.
Okay. Yeah, I like the one in the 6 hole probably the best.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to convince me.
Okay. I figured I probably wouldn't. So
I got so much Jelani Woods going into this
yes.
seson, man.
Come on down.
I mean, just think about being on the field with like Woods, Pierce, AR, Jade. Like these guys are all freaks. You know what I mean? You're gonna have all of them on the field at the same time. It's gonna be so fun.
Yep, definitely. All right. So
and I like Woods going into his second season. He was good. Like he was a red zone target last year. He was kind of being used like he wasn't getting peppered, but he was kind of very versatile in the way that he was being used at the position. Not much competition there. Mo Alley's still there, or is he?
I
know I'm just.
I thought he signed with somebody else.
No way. That I didn't know. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up.
I think he might have.
Okay.
I'll let you look it up. I got to keep the board up on mine. So
yeah, no problem. Let's see here. Well, like charged with assault and battery. Okay, well there you go. That is not good. No, why is it showing a basketball guy though? Is there basketball? No.
Well,
no,
it's
okay,
still
yeah,
showing MiLLiE is.
It looks like they're making him available for a trade, but I haven't seen that anything's happened.
Yeah.
Okay, which is great for Woods, right?
Yeah, I think if Mo Alley Cox is going to turn into anything, he would have by now, and he's a little bit more of that that guy who's more of a blocker but can catch the ball, whereas Woods is a little bit more of a pass catcher. Let's
go back to Mims.
Yep.
Denver, an offense we both like to turn it around this year. They haven't moved Judy. If anything, they locked up. I'm pretty sure they locked him up today. No, Judy, or 5th-year option at least. Is that what I heard?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and then Sutton is there. Tim Patrick coming off injury. Guys like us drafting in January, February, where he was a nice kind of late round guy you threw into your rosters as a flyer. Now that they add Mims with this regime, with a guy that Peyton himself drafted, how do you see this receiving core playing out?
Yeah, so I think I've never been much of a Cortland Sutton guy, so I think there's room for Mims to come in there. Tim Patrick is, he's a pretty good receiver, but he's coming off an ACL. KJ Hamler can't stay healthy, so. I think Mims is somebody we'll probably need to hold on our roster for a few weeks before he really starts to take off. But he definitely might be worth holding coming down the stretch. And we do have, of our receivers, 3 of them are rookies too. So we've got Quentin Johnson, Jaden Reed, and Marvin Mims, all as rookie receivers.
I mean, rookies, we talked about it earlier in this draft. In these type of tournaments where it's such a big player pool and it's top heavy, rookies are very attractive. You know, they give you that upside. They give you that kind of lottery ticket.
Yeah. And we're definitely heavy on rookies overall because we also have 3 rookie running backs, Bijan,
100%.
Jahmyr Gibbs, and Kendre Miller. So, you know, not that I mind that at all. It's going to be a team that I think as the season goes along just gets stronger with those rookies. And I think we've got the firepower to get through the early weeks of the season too.
You're not trying to get through 12 guys, Dan. You're trying to get through, I'd have to go back and look how many are in this tournament, but where is it? There's 20,000, Dan. 20,000
yes, exactly.
teams. So you're not trying to beat 12 guys. You're not trying to, you know, build a floor or, you know, have your depth has to be swinging for the fences lottery tickets. You know, they need to smash. If your bench smashes or a part of your bench smashes, not like it does all right, then you have a chance. But if you're, you know, and that's why you got to, the build here is completely different than a best ball.
Yep, absolutely. And, you know, as we look at our build here too, you know, I don't care if we get another quarterback or not. It's not a high priority for me.
Yeah, like Justin Herbert's bye week is week, or no, that's not his.
We
bye
don't know.
saying.
But
oh my
yeah.
God.
We have no idea, but we know it's not going to be in the first.
The best part is that I was listening to something the other day, and the guy was asking about bye weeks, and I was thinking, why are you asking about bye weeks? And then I just looked at it. For some reason, I mentioned that, but. Yeah. You know, those are things when you're building these teams later on this offseason, once they release the schedule, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to that. But running back, I'm fine. Quarterback, I'm fine. Receiver, like you said, we're fine. And even tight end, I mean, I could add another tight end just because, you know, we kind of have 3.
Yep.
Talking about swinging for the fences. Yeah, I mean, the 2 guys we have in our queue, I like. If we get to add them. I'm curious what you think about 4 in our queue.
I'm not a huge fan of 4.
No, I'm not either. That's why I'm curious to. Somebody mentioned him earlier.
Okay. Yeah, and especially with what we're doing on our build, I'm not sure that it makes sense. I was sorry to see the New England defense go there. That would have been a good pick.
That was the other thing I was going to ask you. When let me pull up the D's here. I mean, the good thing is with this, it's not like best ball where you're trying to, you know, gobble up 2 or 3, depending on how you make your builds. You really just need 1 here.
Yep.
Oh, I actually like. Oh, we're in the clock.
Yes, we are.
Well, we can come back at that position.
Okay. So what do you want to do here? We can do a defense or a kicker or one of the ones we have on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Let me see which kickers. Oh, why don't we take where are you on kickers? Which one would you take?
I think we can wait.
Okay.
I
kind of like the tight ends here.
Okay.
Personally, I know you're not excited about them, but I like either one. I kind of like 4's upside a lot more.
Okay. Go ahead and do it.
Isaiah Likely is a guy I've been grabbing as my tight end 3 or 4 in a lot of drafts, especially tight end preems, just because it's not because I think Mark Andrews is going anywhere. I just like what I saw from Likely, man, last year. You got to think they're going to get him more involved. Yes, they brought in receivers. That I think is more to open up the game, and you know, guys like Likely maybe benefit from that. but I definitely like what I saw from the rookie. And, you know, God forbid there is some kind of injury. He's just going to skyrocket.
Yep, for sure.
All right, we're back on in 2. So that okay, so yeah. Kicker here?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I mean, I know it's a little bit early, but not too early, I don't think. Because we're coming around on the 18th round. So we have to get a kicker, we got to get a defense. And then we're going to have room for one more position. So yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and do the kicker here.
Okay. Do you have any strategies to when you're picking your kicker? Like if I've got a stack or an offense I'm maybe weighted heavily on, if I'm choosing between guys, I'll usually go the offense, or do you just take the best guy available? You don't really care.
I mostly take the best guy available. I don't worry about. The only thing I don't want to correlate with is my quarterback, because with your kicker and your quarterback, I mean, either you're scoring touchdowns or field goals, so it's hard for them to both have big weeks.
And that's the nugget I was looking for, Dan. So that's for those listening. Hopefully you guys wrote that down.
All right, and so we got to think about defense and also. Curious. Okay.
So is this rookie playing for sure?
I would think so, yeah. And if he's not, then we can always switch. But they drafted him in the 3rd round, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What do you think about that?
I got to think that they're going to play.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's really early.
Alex Keaton really wants us to get that guy I was asking you about.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was just looking to see if Jerick McKinnon had been taken, but he was taken way back in the 9th round. That's insanely early. Somebody took Jerick McKinnon before Charbonnet.
Because they saw you in the room, Dan.
And A-Chain. Yikes.
They know how much you love that McKinnon.
Yeah. Late. That's where the value is late.
So we're in the 18th round, guys. End of the 18th, 20-round draft.
Yep. I'm just to kind of clean up our queue. I'm going to take off the last guy because we definitely don't need any more tight ends.
No.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to take off the numbers 2 and 3 guys. Take off number 3. I'll leave number 2.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like I said, I'm not banging the table for any of these guys. Right. It's more just for the build.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dan, that tight end. I can't believe he's still there.
Which one?
The one I just put in there, just to show you. You see it?
Hang on. I got to refresh. Oh.
No?
I mean, yeah, he's definitely a decent shot.
No, I'm just thinking, like, would you have preferred him over the guys we took, the last guy?
Yeah, they're all in the same tier for me.
Yeah, okay.
And anyway, he just disappeared there.
Totally.
Yeah, because he's paired up with Aaron Rodgers now. So.
Oh, he stacked them too, eh?
Yep.
Nice.
He stacked them. Team 2 stacked.
Yeah, Conklin is a sneaky tight end. I like it, especially in best balls and tight end preem. People forget. I mean, not that Aaron Rodgers really peppered tight ends, but.
Right.
All right. Well, it's clearly raining here again, Dan. It's been raining all week. Just dying for some sun, please, tomorrow, Lord.
Hey, we've had sun the past couple days here, so it's been kind of nice.
Send it my way, brother. Send it north.
Right.
So we've got our kicker. We've got 4 tight ends. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 receivers. This isn't best ball, so it's not like you necessarily need to go 10 receivers or whatever. You're starting these guys, and then we've got our 5 running backs, including Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. Theo, I think Theo's going to like that. What do you think? I feel like Theo's going to like that running back room.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure.
And then Justin Herbert at quarterback. So the only real stack, to be honest, Dan, is the London Bijan, which is like a semi-stack, like a light stack. And then we've got our rookie, Quentin Johnson, with Herbert.
Yeah. And call me crazy, but I think I just put our defense on there. See what you think about that one. They scored pretty well last year, and they're continuing to add talent.
Do it.
You hate it, don't you?
Not at all. I know you think that because of the division, but
all right,
not necessarily.
No, I like it. I think
if anything, you like it for the division.
Exactly. That's
right.
That's the main reason why I like it.
It's beautiful.
Do
it.
There could be some rookie quarterbacks going in there for sure.
See, Theo likes our running backs. Andrew will like our defense. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Because you're going to have potentially Tennessee, Houston with rookie quarterbacks, and Indianapolis.
All right, so we're one pick away from ending this draft. This is the $1 million roster. If you guys are watching, don't bother. This is it right here.
And I know we have tons of rookies, but I just put another rookie into the queue that I like a lot.
This is what happens this time of year, Dan. It's just,
Yeah. But the thing is, we can always grab the crusty vet later, but I like this rookie because of where he's at now. It says he's a free agent, but he's not. You know where he's at? I don't want to say because that'll give it away.
Take him.
Yeah, we got to wait till it's our turn. But yeah.
Take him now, Dan.
No.
Do it now. No. Now. Trying to look at who's kind of left in the queue in these drafts, like that don't even get drafted. Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Okay. We just have to be patient and wait.
There it goes. There you go, Keaton. Jonathan Mingo off the board. He's been telling us for about 7 rounds to take Mingo.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I mean, I don't know. To me, experience tells me like if the guy was not on my radar pre-draft and then gets drafted like way above expectation to, I don't know. To me, there's not too many reasons to draft him is what I'm saying, I think.
Yeah.
He could be a boat, Dan. That's the best.
Could be a boat. Rookie quarterback, all that.
So, yeah, like that. I started talking, and I'm like, everything I mentioned is going to be a reason not to take him, and that's kind of why. So, Keaton, I mean, I'm interested if you want to sell us on it.
All right, I'm going to take that running back. So
do it. Talk to me about it, though.
Okay, so he's in Tampa Bay, which really has just Rashad White.
Yeah,
and not much else. So
100%.
even though Tucker went undrafted, he was a guy that we liked a lot through the pre-draft process, and Tampa Bay was pretty quick to snap him up. So I think there's definitely an opening for him to be able to contribute here, and he's a guy who can both run and catch passes.
So he's my James Robinson. He's is it James? Who's the guy in Tampa that they drafted or that they signed after the draft and ended up being legit? Man, I had so many shares of this guy in Dynasty and I can't think of his name right now.
In Tampa?
Oh, LeGarrette. That was LeGarrette Blount, wasn't it?
Way back when, yeah.
Was that Blount? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, many years ago. You're showing
so
your
Sean
age.
Green's asking. We'll go back and read off our team. Sean Green. I'm guessing he's team number 3 because he's asking what we think about it. So I'll read it off to you, Dan. Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, Chris Olave, Joe Burrow with the stack, Keenan Allen, Damian Pierce, George Pickens, Dalton Kincaid, and Chig, back-to-back tight ends. Kirk Cousins as his QB2, Michael Thomas, Deontay Foreman, Devin Singletary, Justin Tucker, first kicker off the board. Defense is Philly, Zach Evans, Jerome Ford. I like the Jerome Ford pick there. I had him in RQ, John Mechie, Zamir White, and then Kenny Pickett. So three quarterbacks. I don't get that. I mean, guess he's got
you're kind of at the end of the draft, so it's
just whatever.
It's kind of whatever. You can see what happens with Pickett. But yeah, I like the stack. He's got Burrow and Chase going there, which is really nice. And it's basically this team is going to do about as well as their running backs do. Josh Jacobs and Damian Pierce is great. After that, there's a lot of questions at running back, which with where you drafted him, that's going to be the case. But you got
which is why he smashed running back often later in the last
exactly.
5
seconds. I love the Mechie pick too. That's one of my favorite guys to take. We ended up not taking him in this build, but
even Zamir White, Dan, like behind Jacobs, nothing much there. Zamir White's we didn't see much from last year, but could possibly,
Yeah, well, he got Singletary too, who's behind Damian Pierce, so that's not bad at all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, nice build. Nice build 3.
Yeah, tight end, Kincaid and Conquo. Those are nice targets in that area. I like that. We were kind of thinking about Kincaid. Would have thought about Conquo too if we'd have been looking at tight end. Right around
my only thing on that, Dan, is if I'm taking Kincaid, which I'm probably not going to have a lot of based on where he's going, I'm definitely taking a third tight end. That's my only kind of roster build type of comment there.
Yep. And then our team, I like how our team fell together. I think we're going to have, we're going to have 3 running backs. We're starting pretty much every week as long as they're healthy. Excuse me. And then we're going to have, A.J. Brown is definitely going to be starting. And then Mike Evans, I think, will definitely be starting. And then we got Drake London or Quentin Johnson. We could start either one of those, kind of see how things go. Plus we've got some nice rookie depth down below there. So I like that. Our tight ends, we've got 4. We're probably not going to keep 4 tight ends on this roster the whole time. But we're going to kind of wait and see what shakes out between these 4 guys and see who looks like is really starting to put it together. And eventually we'll get a second quarterback. But right now, we really don't need one.
Thing is, if you do hit on even just 2 of these guys, like when you have 2-3 solid guys at tight end in the FFPC builds where you're actually managing your starting lineups, man, is it so much easier, right, Dan, week to week? Like when you have those, because of the flexibility with the 2 flex spots and the tight end premium, just having the 3. Even if it makes you have to decide your tight end spot, having the option to throw one of those guys in a flex anytime, if not every week, depending on who it is, it really helps you kind of manage your week to week, starters, and it kind of makes up for maybe weaknesses in other positions.
Yep, for sure. It takes the pressure off of trying to come up with as many wide receivers because you can do it with tight ends, and I think we're going to see a lot more tight ends scoring a little bit better. I mean, I think tight end is always a junk position. It's always the hardest because, there's only 3 or 4 really, really good ones. But I think there's going to be the rest of the field is going to even out a little bit more because I'm expecting some teams to start using 12 personnel a lot more. Kind of realizing that tight end is a cheaper position than wide receiver and a little bit easier to find. So if they don't have 3 good wide receivers that they really like, if they can come up with a second tight end, then they can play 12 personnel a lot more, and then that also helps them out in the running game as well.
For sure. So Dan, we're at $130 here. 930. So we'll wrap this thing up, guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you're tuning in tomorrow night on the Player Profiler Network. You'll find a brand new GOAT District show. We'll be, checking out that now that the rookies have a landing spot, who we like, who we don't like, every aspect. Obviously we're going to talk about high stakes and redraft, but we'll touch on Dynasty and best ball as well. The chat, you guys are awesome. Best Bell, there's Bradley right there. Check out, make sure you guys smash the subscribe to Best Bell Fantasy as well. Shout out to Bradley. Dan was on there recently. Go check out that episode. Famous J, Joe Carlton, Sean Green, Jonathan Mahan. Probably saying that wrong.
1912.
1912. Alex Keaton, Kev Wheeler in the house, a bunch of goats. You guys are awesome, man. We appreciate you guys hanging with us tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back, like I said, regularly doing these live ones. We'll get some goats on here, some big players on here talking strategy. Anything, Dan, before we close it out?
No, just remember to tune in tomorrow night. We're gonna be talking about the aftermath of the NFL draft and how we're gonna be dealing with that in our redraft leagues primarily, but also in a little bit for dynasty players as well.
For sure, guys. Follow Dan at Overhyped Sleeper, no E on the end on the Twitter machine. I'm at JD Goat District. You can follow all of us at Goat District. Appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll check you all later.
Goat District, the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text. That trash offer's the best. You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be trading. And I always be trading. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.